Hey guys, welcome back. We're here to talk about night 5 of the N1 Victory Tournament from Pro Wrestling Noah on August 19th. I work every freaking weekend, guys, just so you know. Every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday for 12 hours a day. I can't review these shows until Monday, Tuesday, somewhere in there, but we have a break. I'm going to be covering this show, the 19th, the day after this show, the 20th, and the next N1 Victory show isn't until August 27th. So this review and the previews for the upcoming shows will be uploaded at least a day or two before the next events. Now that we have that out of the way, the opening match on this show, match number 5 on August 19th, was Kazuyuki Fujita taking on Anthony Green. And in my preview of this, I called this murder. I mean, no offense to Anthony Green, but come on. Did anybody really think he stood a shot? And again, I know that sounds terribly offensive, and I like Green, and I think he's great, and I think he's represented himself extremely well in Pro Wrestling Noah, but I mean, this just was Fujita toying around with him, I think. I mean, Green did keep from getting completely demolished. I mean, he hung with Fujita longer than some people hang with someone like Funaki. So, I mean, you got to credit him for hanging in there. He actually got Fujita to give him a fist bump here. That was remarkable. At first, Fujita looked like, is this guy serious? But then he actually did it because there was a point in the match where Fujita had Green against the ropes and gave him a clear break, a clean break, just backed up, and Green appreciated it and wanted to give him a fist bump for that. And Fujita then went on to just stomp him down in the corner, beat him around, throw him around. Green did get his walking, talking, flying, he calls this, off the top rope, where he walks a step or two out into the middle of the rope and does a twisting body splash. He got that on Fujita and actually took him down. Nailed him with a big super kick right to the face. But at that point, Fujita had enough. Picked him up and just slammed him around. Put him in the Boston Crab, tried to get him to submit, but when he would not submit, he tried to choke him out. And this was probably Green's best part of the match. Green managed to get to the corner and do a flip, like walk up the corner and flip around and get Fujita in a pinning position to where Fujita had to let go of the choke, which is something Hideki Suzuki didn't pull off. You got to give him that. He reversed this in a way. I mean, Fujita could have kept choking him, but in order to do so, he would have been pinned 1, 2, 3. So he had to let go of the choke in order to not be pinned. But it was shortly after that that Fujita just nailed him with a gigantic lariat and then followed it up with the Beast Bomb. This match was just a little bit over 5 minutes long. But again, Anthony Green hanging with a guy like Fujita for over 5 minutes is impressive and continues to show me that he belongs in Pro Wrestling Noah. And I look forward to him returning. I mean, he's still in this tournament and he's not going home yet, but when he does, I hope he gets regular tours. He's earned it, in my opinion. But Fujita, I mean, come on, he's the winner here. We all knew that's what was going to happen. He's got like 6 points. He's at the top of his bracket. Only one loss so far, and that was such a fluky, goofy-looking loss that I still can't believe it. But Fujita is your big winner here in match number 1 in short order. Let's move on. Okay, guys, the next match from this evening is Katsuhiko Nakajima, Congo, baby, versus Jack Morris. Jack Morris stormed into this tournament, defeating Kaito Kiyomiya in his first matchup, and has struggled a little bit since then. But he set the groundwork. He woke this roster up as to who he was and how they had to wrestle him. Nakajima's problem has always been, for at least quite a while now, has been his ridiculous overconfidence. Now, that's not saying he doesn't have anything to be overconfident about. Katsuhiko Nakajima is one of the best wrestlers in the world. There is no doubt about that. But his overconfidence and his willingness and desire to just show off in matches and come into them thinking he has it without much issue, I don't want to say often, but sometimes leads to his downfall. But this definitely led to Jack Morris's second best match of this tournament. He really stood his ground against Nakajima here, even though the argument could be made that Nakajima held back. There was Nakajima telling him, bring it on, just go ahead and hit me, kick me, do whatever you want to do, give me whatever you have, and I'll just stand here and take it. Which he did to some degree, but then at the opportunity the right time, if you will, he brought it hard to Jack Morris. Here you see him getting the kicks where he would kick him in the back and kick him in the front. But here you also see Nakajima's overconfidence. He has Jack Morris in the corner, and he just looks at him, I guess in a way that's not a great picture. But he just takes his time with him. And here he does his show time, his infamous, his well-known show time, where he basically stands on his opponent's face in the corner, leaning on the ropes, putting most of the weight on his feet on that person's face. And Jack Morris really hit it hard here. Jack Morris did fly around the ring a little bit, leaping to the outside, tope suicidas, as you see here, knocking Nakajima around the outside, coming back in and flying onto him in the corner. But Nakajima would reverse moves at the opportune time. Like here, he gave a back body drop whenever he was going for a certain type of suplex or whatever. But as just about every one of Nakajima's opponents have done in this tournament, they're exploiting his legs. They want to take his legs out because this is Nakajima's most powerful weapon. Even though he has developed a ridiculously good knockout punch, a knockout open hand slap to the side of the face and temple. But it's still the most intelligent thing to do when facing Nakajima is going after his legs. As you see Jack Morris here going after that wrapped left knee. Nakajima is still bracing himself on that knee and delivering a ridiculously good super kick. Jack Morris with an enziguri. And here both guys are down. They are exhausted. They are spent. This was a terrific match. I really enjoyed this. This is up there with one of the best matches of this tournament so far, in my humble opinion. Here we got more maneuvers going on here. Enziguri from Nakajima in the corner as Jack Morris is going up to deliver an offensive blow. Nakajima kicks him out of the ring, brings him back in, and again does the front and back kicks to the sternum and to the back for quite some time. Jack Morris delivering a big back body drop and clothesline, as you can see here, and once again both men are down. I can't stress this enough. This was seriously one of the best matches of this tournament. Back and forth, offense and defense from both guys. Now the question remains, is Jack Morris as great as he looked here? I believe he is, but at the same time, as I've emphasized more than once, Nakajima just doesn't go all out 100% of the time in every one of his matches. It's part of his game plan. I think it's an intimidation thing. I think it's just, like I said, an overconfidence thing. Nakajima would rather, it seems to me, struggle to win a match outright and quicker. He would rather do that than to win quickly, because if the stretched out longer match leads to more and greater opportunities for him to swagger and walk around the ring like king shit, then he's going to take that opportunity, in my opinion. Now here's where the end came. Jack Morris is going to go for his Tiger Driver, which he beat Kaito Kiyomiya with, along with another win or two that he's gotten in this tournament. But Nakajima turns it into a Hurricanrana, flips him over, and pins him 1, 2, 3. So it felt to me like Nakajima simply won this match when he was ready to win this match. And I know that's sort of a contradiction to what I've been saying about how good this match was. But it was very enjoyable. But the question still remains, how much of this match, being as lengthy, about 13 minutes, as it was Jack Morris's ability, which he has plenty, and how much of it was Nakajima just allowing him to hang with him for 13 minutes? That's the big question. But there you see, there's where Nakajima's favorite thing to do is be able to saunter around, to be able to just have, like I said, such swagger and stuff, and just look down at the fallen Jack Morris laughing. This is what Nakajima loves to do. Every bit as much as he loves to win, every bit as much as he loves to hold championships, his favorite thing to do is just to display his greatness to his opponent, and while doing it, of course, to the crowd in the ring. And I love him in a lot of ways for it, but it has cost him here or there. So it's a mixed bag. As a Nakajima fan, you love his attitude, you love his demeanor, you love his style, but at the same time, you're like, you can't do this against every opponent you have, because it's going to eventually cost you. But at the same time, you know he's never going to stop doing it. And he definitely never stopped doing it in this match. But he did pull out the big victory, getting up toward and at the top of his block at this point, I believe, with 6 points. But excellent match. Excellent display of who Katsuhiko Nakajima is. And another display of how everyone in this tournament better take Jack Morris seriously, even though he came up on the short end here. The next match was some old school greatness. Now, I'm not talking kicking it back to the 70s or 80s or something, but this was just two guys beating the living shit out of each other, and I absolutely loved it. Masato Tanaka versus Masaki Mochizuki, former members of the M's Alliance, just going at it, starting off with a handshake, and everything after that was just a beat down, takedown, tear down, pro wrestling match. Mochizuki working on the elbow of Tanaka because he uses the sliding D, and the sliding forearm into the face, and Mochizuki's trying to take that away from him. And here you see him locking that arm in his legs and trying to bend it, trying to hyperextend it, trying to kick it, trying to take it out, just trying to take away Tanaka's weapon. And you see here Tanaka's using it a little bit here, so he didn't wear it down enough at the beginning, but really worked it over. And then Tanaka decided to go after the legs and the knees and the ankle of Mochizuki because he's infamous. He is very well known for his kicks. So this was a strategic professional wrestling match that I absolutely adored. But it wasn't just strategic. It wasn't just working on joints. This match, it wasn't, a lay and pray type of matchup. This was a fight. These guys went at each other hard, even though there's no personal issues at all. Look at Mochizuki. Look at the pain he is in. Look at what Tanaka is doing to him. Look at how he is twisting his knee and his ankle at the same time, trying to wear him down, trying to take his weapons, his feet, his shins, his legs away from him. But there's Mochizuki, much like Tanaka just a moment ago, still utilizing what he is most known for and still using his powerful kicks to slow Tanaka down. Here he gets Tanaka in sort of a tree of woe. It didn't last long. One thing I hate about the tree of woe is a lot of times wrestlers will hang there for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, looking like complete imps. But here, Tanaka was just caught in it momentarily, and Mochizuki just came down with a hard forearm shiver to the chest as he hung there, knocking him down, and then resorted to his kicks. And this is something both of these guys did, not throughout this match, but numerous times towards the middle and end. Mochizuki comes running in with a sliding D of his own. Not quite as good, not quite as efficient as Tanaka's, because you can see here, this is more of a sliding shoulder block more than it is a forearm. It looks like he might have clicked heads there a little bit. It wasn't enough to keep Tanaka down. I like how the announcers, Stu and Mark, the English commentators for Noah, are calling Tanaka bulletproof. I don't know if that's an official nickname or not, but I like it. It works for him. And here, Tanaka, Mr. Bulletproof himself, returns the favor of his finishing maneuver being used and hits a twisting brainbuster on Mochizuki, which Mochizuki is known for, and both guys are down with the referee checking on them to see how they're doing. Tanaka delivers a furious clothesline. This was after numerous lariats in the corner, running back and forth to the corners, just clotheslining Mochizuki, and then allowing Mochizuki to come out of the corner and just hitting a full-scale lariat on him, slamming him down and going for his superfly, which he calls out loudly a lot of the times when he goes for this, which is mistake here because Mochizuki gets his knees up at the last minute, and that move actually affects Tanaka more, allowing Mochizuki to place him in the corner. I don't know if Mochizuki always did this, I can't recall, but this is a good move. I like how Mochizuki, when he takes his tired, exhausted opponent and just squeezes him between the top and second turnbuckle and comes running in with a huge flying kick, knocking him out of that position. And there's Mochizuki nailing his own personal twisting brainbuster, but it wasn't enough. Tanaka gets an avalanche brainbuster off the top rope, which isn't enough, and again hits Mochizuki with his own twisting brainbuster, but Mochizuki responds with a kick to the side of the head, numerous occasions, including when Tanaka was on his knees. But this time Tanaka recovers and successfully nails the Superfly. Look, this match was about these guys giving each other some of their most powerful holds, maneuvers, and wrestling moves, and the other one taking it and kicking out. Now, sometimes I can get annoyed with guys kicking out of big moves, and I've said that numerous times. Here, they aren't massive moves, and Avalanche Brainbuster's a bit much, but I love this because, well, I'm going to call it personal, but these two like each other. They are friendly, and sometimes that doesn't work either, where you got two good guys, two friendly guys wrestling. But here, it was all about the tournament, it was all about the points, and it was all about Mochizuki being 0-4 in this tournament but not giving up to one of the toughest wrestlers in the world. Mochizuki showing that no matter how he's doing in the tournament this year, he's not going to be a pushover. He's not going to walk in here and just lay down, and he did not do that. Even though he was hit with this move, he was up, and what happened is Tanaka then decided it's time to finish him. It's time for my own sliding D, which he had not hit this entire match that I recall, or that I grabbed. And here he comes running in for it, and Mochizuki, as in the sliding D, you're laying on the mat, you might be starting to get up or what have you, so Tanaka can run in and slide hard into you with that forearm. But as he was sitting up, sort of groggily, he sort of played possum a little bit, and as Tanaka came sliding in, Mochizuki shifted his body and kicked his shin into the face of Tanaka. And folks, that did it. That got Mochizuki his first win. Tanaka propelled himself into his shin kick, pretty much knocked himself loopy, not out, because you can see Tanaka is up there, but it was enough for the 1, 2, 3 to give Mochizuki his first win. And what a win it was, in a match that I absolutely loved. I'm not going to call it a match of the year contender or anything like this, but if you like hard, grizzled veterans just trying to beat each other down, this is a match you are not going to want to miss, and you're not going to want to miss it because it was Mochizuki's first win of the tournament. Great stuff. If there's one thing Noah continuously does, like, I can be away from Noah for a little while. I don't mean any kind of extended break, but, I had to work 3 days. I didn't get to watch this live. I'm backed up. I have 2 shows to watch and review and 2 shows to preview. And sometimes it's a little daunting. As much as I love Noah, it's just daunting to know I have a lot of work to do. Then I start watching it, and it's like, how are more people not watching this? The greatest wrestling on earth. And look, I have been watching some of the garbage I don't normally watch, so I can talk about it on another YouTube channel, Grading on a Curve. I've been watching a little bit of WWE. I've been watching a little bit of AEW. I've been watching a little bit of Impact. And I don't begrudge anybody to watch whatever they want to watch. Not really. I mean, there's some garbage in wrestling that I do begrudge and I wish would go away forever. But watch what you want, whatever. But when I watch when I get back into it, when I get my time off, and I get to really sink my teeth into this stuff, like this match here, Takashi Zagura versus Masa Kitamiya, it's just wrestling done right. And I know that sounds cliche from me, but you have to see this stuff. These are 2 big bull of the woods going at it, daddy, like charging each other like crazy at the beginning of the match, neither one knocking the other one down, but time and again, over and over, shoulder block, shoulder block, shoulder block, shoulder block, just challenging one another, just seeing who is the bull of the woods, if you will. But neither one is. They stand there looking at each other after multiple shoulder blocks. Takashi Zagura, I don't know how he's not my favorite wrestler. And I say that not in a way to tell you that I'm switching from Katsuhiko Nakajima to Takashi Zagura, but Takashi Zagura, he's really second to none. This guy is one of the toughest son of a bitches on earth. Here he has Masa Kitamiya trying to deliver a gut-wrench suplex to him on the ring apron, but Kitamiya sort of gets control and delivers that knee driver to the apron because, Masa Kitamiya is going to try to wear down the knees, as you see he continues to do on the outside of the ring here, in order to apply his prison lock, leg lock, that can make anybody in the world of wrestling tap out. Here he is continuing to roll into shoulder block, the back of the knees. Takashi Zagura hitting his senton bomb here and taking his left leg and wrapping around his massive trunk and just trying to pry away at Zagura's legs, weakening him for the prison lock. And he continues to do it here. You see Takashi Zagura grabbing his hair. Because they're in the corner, the ref needs to be breaking this, and the ref's applying a 5 count slowly. And Takashi Zagura is just like, the hell with this. I'm just going to grab this guy's hair and wrench his neck around. Masa Kitamiya goes for a running shoulder block in the corner. Takashi Zagura moves, and the match turned a little bit here because Masa Kitamiya nails the ring post, and Sugi follows up with a giant boot to the face and a running knee and an avalanche brain buster. Zagura really took control until Masa Kitamiya could capture his leg again. Masa Kitamiya has been driven in this tournament like I've never seen him driven. He has beaten guys like Kaito Kiyomiya. He has really looked like a world beater here, but he did lose his last match, and this is a tough one for him coming in here. A big knee lift from Zagura, and both guys are down. Again, much like the match before this, Mochizuki versus Tanaka, I'm not saying this match was the same, but it has a very similar philosophy. This is two large guys, though. Mochizuki and Tanaka are smaller framed. And this was about power more than anything. Segura just trying to power Masa Kitamiya down so he could maybe choke him out, wear him out. And Masa Kitamiya trying to take the legs, as you see Segura holding there, so he could put on the prison lock. But it's still, the matches were similar in regard that it's two tough as hell wrestlers just going at it in the ring. Nothing fancy, nothing over the top, just a freaking fight. And that you see here, Masa Kitamiya with a massive right hand closed fist punch, and followed up by a short, this was a short but effective pile driver. But Segura is not staying down, so Masa Kitamiya tries his Saito suplex, and here Sugi actually turns in the middle of the Saito suplex and almost turns it into a crossbody on his part, allowing him to come in with a big lifted left knee to Masa Kitamiya. And I thought it might be over here. Segura locks on his dreaded front chin lock, his choke, and numerous guys have succumbed to this. He has a grip second to none. Guys have a very hard time getting out of this, but Masa Kitamiya uses his massive legs and stands up with Segura, taking control of him, forcing him to break that hold, and then nailing a successful spear in the middle of the ring and locking in that prison lock. Look at Segura, one of the toughest son of a bitches in wrestling, just wincing in this hold. This hold is one of the best in wrestling today. It will take a mother effer out. But Masa Kitamiya makes a mistake. A lot of the times, not every time, but a lot of the times when he has this prison lock in, he will grab his opponent's head and headbutt them. And much like some other headbutts you've seen in the business, blood will pour from Kitamiya's head. Not pour, but dribble from his head after these pretty wicked headbutts. But here, when he grabbed Segura and brought him in close to give him the headbutt, Segura got him in the underhook chokehold, and this time he wasn't letting go. It broke the prison lock in his efforts to escape this headlock, which most people just cannot do. And Segura gets the big win. The referee has to stop it when Masa Kitamiya passes out. He cannot respond to questioning if he's done or if he gives up. The referee has to call it. Masa Kitamiya wakes up angrily, very, very furious that he lost this match, shocked that he lost this match. But his effort to headbutt Segura out of it, maybe knock him silly so he taps out to the prison lock, led to him getting choked out by the incredible, by the amazing, by the ageless Takashi Segura. If you want to know what real professional wrestling is, this is the match you got to see. Simple as that. Kenoh versus Hideki Suzuki in the semi-main event. Even though this is semi-final, it is the semi-main event of this show. Night 5 of the N1 Victory Tournament. This was just perfection inside the squared circle. It was dominated by Kenoh at the beginning, and I loved it. It looked like Kenoh was on his way to a victory in several minutes. He just charged Hideki Suzuki with an offensive flurry, unlike almost anything I've ever seen from Kenoh. Here he hits the PFS, the professional foot stomp, from the top rope about 3 minutes in. Hideki Suzuki had to roll outside the ring to escape being pinned. Kenoh looked like a monster in the first 10 minutes of this match or so. Not that he didn't look great the rest of it, but the first 10 minutes of this match was the most dominant I have ever seen Kenoh look. I mean, multiple pinfall attempts. There he hits the double knees, which is just one of his, not a finishing move, but one of his setup moves that really gets a guy ready to go down. And here he is with the chin lock. I'm not going to sit here and describe every move in this matchup. We could go through these screens and just appreciate the beauty of a wrestling match done on this level. And again, I get frustrated because I know there are so many people out there that supposedly love professional wrestling that aren't watching pro wrestling, Noah. And this is a shame. Kenoh, again, wearing Hideki Suzuki down with the body scissors. And this was just sold to perfection. Here he gets the armbar. The big thing, there's Kenoh just standing on him. At one point, Kenoh just stood on the midsection of Hideki Suzuki and looked like what? What's anybody going to do about anything I do or want to do? He was cocky without quite being on Nakajima's level of, costing him the match. Or possibly costing him the match. This was my favorite Kenoh match possibly of all time. I just loved how he looked here. Now, he's been working with an MMA trainer. I forget the guy's name. I'm sorry. It's someone in Japan. but respected MMA trainer. And it showed here when he faced a catch-as-catch-can wrestler like Suzuki. Suzuki learned that Kenoh is as legit as they come. And I'm not saying he questioned that, but I really think this match opened Suzuki's eyes. It opened the fans' eyes. If you have a brain whatsoever, it opened your eyes. You see Kenoh on a different level after this match. I mean, he's the GHC heavyweight champion, for crying out loud. But Hideki Suzuki is a badass catch-as-catch-can wrestler who struggled up to a certain point until something woke him up and he got going against Kenoh. I think he came in here thinking he would ground and pound Kenoh, and it just didn't happen. He hit his suplexes. He looked good. He started catching fire here. He delivers a knee as he realized he has to take Kenoh a hell of a lot more seriously, and started nailing some moves like this knee drop on the outside on the concrete floor, giving himself enough time in that left leg with that ridiculous knee brace. And I'm not knocking the brace, I'm just saying, look at that honking thing. He needs it, and it really, his knee was worked over in this match as well. He gets Kenoh back in the match after delivering numerous maneuvers, and then delivers what I'm calling the Hideki Stomp. This is reminiscent of the Garvin Stomp from back in the Jim Crockett promotion days. Not quite as extensive, where Garvin would just stomp every joint in your body. Here, Hideki stomps both ankles and both arms / wrists, if you will. Delivers a reverse neck breaker. Delivers the butterfly suplex off the top rope. But this was a story of Kenoh's refusal to give up. Kenoh dominated, like I said, the first 10 minutes of the match or so. And when Suzuki came storming back, Kenoh was not to be pinned. He was not going to submit. He was not going to be pinned. He was not going to give up. And he always rose back to the occasion, delivering his signature kicks. Here he's trapped in a vicious sort of a reverse Indian deathlock, and it looked pretty bad here for Kenoh. It looked like he was going to have a hard time escaping this, but he held out. He did not tap out. He did not submit, and he came through in the other end with an ankle lock on Suzuki, which Suzuki raised up. This is great. Raised up here trying to escape that ankle lock, and I didn't quite capture the kick, but Kenoh kicks him in the midsection, drops him out of the ankle lock, kicks him on the way down, and has control of him again until Hideki Suzuki hits this ridiculous tombstone pile driver, which did not keep Kenoh down, because at this point both guys were exhausted. Both guys, this is about the 20-minute mark, both guys were just played out. They have given everything they had to give, but Hideki Suzuki does rise up and deliver this big backbreaker, but he delivered it on that reconstructed left knee, and that kept him from even going for a pin attempt here. And Kenoh was able to rise back up and pretty much bow up and challenge Suzuki. Suzuki stood up and was preparing for whatever exchanges they were going to go back and forth with, and Kenoh nails an open palm strike. I think him and Nakajima have to be working together on this. That pretty much, he didn't knock him out, but he knocked Hideki Suzuki for a ridiculous loop. He was down. His eyes were fluttering. It looked like it could have been stopped. It was not. And they just go toe-to-toe with each other once again with strikes and kicks until both men collapse onto the mat once again, completely spent with everything they've been doing to each other. Look at this scenery. Look at this overhead shot. I'm speaking about this like I'm not doing it justice. I can't do it justice. Snapdragon suplex from Kenoh doesn't get the pinfall. The double underhook butterfly again, which oftentimes is a finisher for Hideki Suzuki, couldn't get the job done. But Suzuki holds on to it and turns it into a submission move. Keeps the butterfly lock on and arches back until Kenoh's shoulders are about to pop out of their sockets, especially that right joint there, that right shoulder, pulling like crazy. Look at the expression on Kenoh's face as he fights to stay alive here. Again, continue to fight, but you can see that shoulder is slipping out of there to some degree, and both men end up on their knees facing each other in a mutual respect kind of situation. But Hideki Suzuki delivers a belly-to-back German suplex, and Kenoh goes for the armbar out of that, and Hideki Suzuki, you can see his fingers clenched there trying to resist the armbar. Kenoh turns it into a sleeper hold, into a choke hold, which again, working with the MMA trainer, has done wonders for Kenoh. It has just taken him to another level, and if you couldn't see that in this matchup, I don't know what to tell you. But this is how the matchup ended. No, nobody won. The 30-minute time limit expired with Suzuki in this hold and resisting being choked out, being put to sleep. It's the first draw of the N1 tournament. I have predicted 2 other matches to be a draw. I don't recall which ones they were off the top of my head. But there was twice I predicted a draw. I was wrong both times. I predicted Kenoh to win this. And boy, God, it sure looked like he was going to in the first 10 minutes of this. But Hideki Suzuki rose back, fought back. This was a battle of 2 warriors, and that is not hyperbole in any stretch of the imagination. This is an absolute contender for match of the year. I loved it. I don't love long matches. This is a 30-minute match. I definitely am not a big fan of 45 minutes or hour-long matches at all. Back in the day with Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat and guys like that, maybe. I liked them a lot more. But today, most long matches are filled with guys spamming ridiculous over-the-top moves and guys kicking out of them. Now, there was a pile driver kicked out of here. That was the most ridiculous thing. Nothing too insane. 30 minutes was filled perfectly with putting you on the edge of your seat, wondering who was going to win, how they were going to win. Was Suzuki going to lose quickly in the beginning? Was he going to come back after being beaten down so badly in the first 10 minutes or so? It was just edge of your seat, solid, professional wrestling done right. And yes, I say that, and it may sound like an echo chamber in here once in a while, but there's no better way to describe what Pro Wrestling Noah is and what this match absolutely was. What a shame we didn't get a winner, though. Both guys get 1 point. That might end up holding one or both of them back from winning this tournament, that odd 1 point instead of 2. We'll have to wait and see, but holy cow, what a match. This is something you should not miss. Main event from the August 19th N1 Victory Tournament show. Masakatsu Funaki versus Kaito Kiyomiya. What a match this is going to be. I love Funaki. This guy's a year older than me and just looks incredible. I mean, what an athlete. What a presentation. He's the GHC National Champion and has been since January. Guys, he has a hard time finding challenges for that title, but here he's taking on the Supernova, Kaito Kiyomiya himself, who has only won 1 match so far, but he is looking to win a big one here against one of the toughest badasses in wrestling, who can just move anybody around, manipulate any joint, turn any offensive move into a hold of his own. He's incredible. Here you see him in full mount on Kaito Kiyomiya. Kiyomiya, though, did his strategy. I thought it was a good one. He decided to pick up the pace. See, if you can wrestle Funaki's pace, which is slow and plodding, and I don't mean that in any insulting kind of way. That's what it is. Now, the chance you take when you work a faster style against Funaki is him catching you. You can get some moves up on him for sure. As you see this big knee here coming flying in, hitting Funaki. But if Funaki catches you flying around the ring and moving quickly, you're pretty much done. And that's the chance Kiyomiya took. You see locking Funaki in the figure 4 early on, one of the moves that the Great Muta handed down to him after their match on Keiji Muto's retirement tour. And here you see, I love this. This is Funaki just picking up the leg on the figure 4 and resisting it in that manner. He just takes those long limbs. He's tall, he has long arms, he has long legs, and it's very difficult to get him in a submission move because of his strength and because of the length of his limbs. And here he's got the shoulder lock, sort of the reverse butterfly lock on Kaito Kiyomiya, and bending him all the way down. Kiyomiya had gone for a single leg pick, and you're just not going to get a single leg pick on a guy like this. He's going to take you down. He's going to take you to school. He's going to work you over for sure. And there, Funaki's got him in sort of a modified Anaconda Vice, trying to submit the Supernova Kaito Kiyomiya. Now, you got to give Kiyomiya credit in this match. He hung tough. I mean, he resisted arm bars. He resisted chokeholds. He did all he could to resist the unbelievable offense and the ease in which Funaki gets guys in these holds. And you can see him delivering a big knee lift to Kiyomiya here, followed by an open palm strike, and he hit several of those that knock Kiyomiya loopy. I mean, he just takes all his strength. You're not allowed to use close fists in Noah. You will get reprimanded and get disqualified for it. So you will see a lot of open hand slaps palm strikes, and they are powerful. And here he gets a little bit of heel work here by Funaki, the member of Congo, of course, has Kiyomiya in the ropes and just gets on him with a camel clutch with the assist of the bottom rope. The ref counts him off, but this was pretty cool. I just like seeing a little bit of edgy stuff from Funaki once in a while, but maybe it showed his frustration as well. Here he is, a bit of a big kick into Kiyomiya, and once again trying to get him in an armbar, and once again Kiyomiya, clasping those hands, doing all that he can to resist the armbar, and successfully doing so, coming back with a big flying drop kick, which Kiyomiya's drop kicks are second to none, and here he hits a missile drop kick from the top rope, sending Funaki down, and Kiyomiya getting more charged up about this match, but getting met with a big kick to the chest and having to fight off a chokehold. But once again, Kiyomiya successfully does it. He had to do some strength training, I'm sure, for this matchup. Not that he isn't normally and typically strong, but here, against someone like Funaki, you have got to be prepared to resist chokes, arm bars, knee bars, every kind of bar that there is. He will put you in it, and he will get you to tap or put you to sleep before you know it. And Kiyomiya, I have to give the kid credit, just an incredible job of resisting these holds. But here's another open palm strike, because Funaki figures I'll just knock his ass out, and came close a couple times. Kiyomiya's eyes rolled into the back of his head more than once in this matchup, but he kept fighting, which was the theme of this match. There's the result of an open palm strike. Again, look at it. You can almost, even though this picture's blurry due to the motion, you can almost see the dizziness, the queasiness in Kiyomiya's eyes here. But he responds with a big German suplex and a dragon screw, which is another move that was handed down by the great Muta to Kaito Kiyomiya. And this is where the end started to come. Kiyomiya using the great Muta's moves that he inherited from him, flying in with a shining wizard to the front of Funaki's head, a shining wizard to the back of Funaki's head, a step up using Funaki's own thigh, stepping up on it with another lifted knee modified shining wizard, and finally a fourth, was this a fifth, shining wizard coming running in from the front and getting the pin. Gigantic win for the Supernova for Kaito Kiyomiya. I mean, Funaki is no joke. This man, like I said, has held the national title for, what is it, like 8 months now. Has beaten Hideki Suzuki, has beaten, I think it was Tanaka for it. He has beaten numerous men who dare to challenge him, and he struggles to find opponents. You don't see national title fights too often, because who wants to fight this guy? And here Kaito Kiyomiya, after 2 losses in this tournament, coming back with 2 big wins over Congo members, Katsuhiko Nakajima and Funaki. 2 of the best professional wrestlers in the world, 2 of the absolute best in pro wrestling. Noah, Kaito Kiyomiya wins this match. Very emotional, as he should be, to beat someone like Funaki after beating Nakajima. That's 2 gigantic wins, 2 of the biggest wins in this tournament. And here they are embracing one another. Now, Funaki did slap him hard across the face after this embrace. Hisami reporting on her page. Check that out. Noah's archived, always linked at WrestlingDoneRight.com. She said it was more of a respectful slap, like, as goofy as that may sound, like, and I kind of understand it, like he's slapping him, like, let's get to it, get with it, get in there, get tough, get this done, kid, that kind of thing, rather than an angry, I'm pissed off I lost, so I'm going to slap you across the face thing. Sort of a Japanese respectful, but I've seen it in, like, the old days Jim Crockett Promotions. I remember, I think it was Junkyard Dog slapping Pistol Pez Watley across the face to get him serious, to get him out of a funk he was in, even though Kiyomiya is not in a funk here. You get what I'm saying? Like, it was a respectful slap to say, get shit done. It was kind of cool. But Kiyomiya, your big winner here to end the show. Going forward on the mic, he says he's going to win this tournament, that he's coming back, that he's putting the losses in the rearview mirror, not going to look at them anymore. It's all forward from here. We'll see if the kid can put his money where his mouth is. But beating Nakajima and Funaki, kind of scary, kind of makes me think this kid could win it all, even though he's still not the leader in his block. He's absolutely someone to keep an eye on. What a show from Pro Wrestling Noah. 10 out of 10 for this show. Everything about it was perfect. We didn't cover the non-tournament matches. One of them probably would have cost a point for me, because it was a throwaway, thanks to Paris Demal de Japon, which I'm sick and tired of. But I'm not going to include it, because this is about the N1. I'm not even worried about those matches. I watched them, but I'm here to talk about the N1, and for this tournament, this was 10 out of 10, with a match of the year contender right there on it with Keno and Suzuki. need to be watching these shows. I will be back with a review of the show on the 20th coming up here very shortly. And then before this week is over, I will also preview the matches coming up on the 27th and 28th. I'm Adam Lavelle of WrestlingDoneRight.com. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again real soon.